Welcome to the meeting, everyone. We are happy to have you here join us here today as we do the third webinar of the webinar series that we've been having, led by EcoTrust Uganda under the ACBA Biodiversity Academy. So just before we start, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Olivia Tawarar. I work with the African CSOs Biodiversity Alliance, and we are happy to be hosting you today. So just a few housekeeping rules before we start. Please make sure that your microphone is mute when we have someone speaking so that we do not interfere with the presentation. Please make sure that you use the raise hand button in case you have any contribution. And also those who are not able to speak for some reasons, please, you can also use the chat box. There are some people who will be looking out on that and making sure that all the contributions are worked on. And then please just note that this meeting is recorded so that you can use it for future reference, and also those people who will not be able to join the session today. So just a recap from the last webinar that focused more on the tools and methodologies for high integrity schemes. We had great experts who took us through the tools and the methodologies as well, and sharing a little bit more about the community-led approaches behind the successful nature market projects. So today's session, as you can see on the poster, will be focusing more on conservation finance, and we will be having presentations from the experts that you see on your screens. They will be taking us through, the community conservation financing, community entrepreneurship, and locally led restoration efforts, and sharing how that comes together to deliver a measurable environmental and social impact. But because we have a packed meeting today, I do not want to talk a lot because we have people who have prepared for this session. But before we go into the session, allow me to welcome Dr. Yemi Katerere, the Executive Director of African CSOs Biodiversity Alliance, to give a few remarks. So over to you, Yemi. I don't know if Yemi is in the meeting. You're muted if you're trying to speak, Yemi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Olivia, I see him, but I don't know if he's trying to speak because he is in the meeting.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm having problems. I had to switch to the phone. My laptop is not working, so I apologize for that. So, firstly, let me just welcome everybody that has joined this third and final webinar in our inaugural three-part series, and that marked the launch of the ACBA Biodiversity Academy. And again, to thank EcoTrust Uganda for stepping up and for delivering for sharing with us their delivery model that they've worked on over the past 27 years, which has focused on restoration as a business. And we've emphasized from day one that the three webinars are connected, and we really, encouraged people to join all three webinars in order to benefit, from the background and context of this model, what informed it, and as Olivia was saying, the methodologies and the tools that they've used in this model, and then of course today we're going to get to to the ground in terms of the financing practices, and to hear the voices of or testimonials of the farmers that have been working with with EcoTrust, over the years. So I think also the way that the webinars have been designed, yes, they are linked and really for you to benefit. And if you want to adapt this model and to see how that can apply to your particular context, yeah, it would have been very beneficial to actually participate in all three. But I think that the way that they've been prepared, you can also benefit by just participating in two or one of these webinars. So today we're looking forward to this final webinar. But in saying that, I think that EcoTrust has indicated that they are ready to provide additional information. So it doesn't end with these three webinars. I mean, people will have lots of questions, and as you try to fine-tune your own model, or you are trying to adapt the EcoTrust delivery model, you might have lots of questions, or you want to seek additional information. EcoTrust will be available to make that additional information available to you, and where you need particular technical expertise to support your journey, they'll also be able to support you with that. So again, to thank EcoTrust, and really looking forward to this final installation, and I hope everybody will also enjoy this. So thank you again, everybody, and over to you, moderator.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yemi, for that remark. So allow me to welcome Pauline Natongo, the Executive Director of EcoTrust Uganda, who will be taking over the next session and also introducing the speakers that we have today. So over to you, Pauline.
Thank you very much, Olivia. Thank you, Yemi. If Olivia, if you could stop sharing so Arnold can start the share. Today is, I'm hoping that today you'll be able to see how exciting some of these innovations can be. Today we hope to take you to one of the landscapes, to one of the landscapes in the Renzoris. We hope to take you to the Renzori Mountains. Arnold, if you could put it in sharing mode. Okay, so basically this is the summary. This is the summary of the model that we've presented to you. We use market-based incentives to innovate around delivering impact in people, in nature, in finance, in community, but also for long-term resilience. So we have adopted one of the livelihoods framework that enable us to track impact in the 5 capitals of that framework. So we are hoping that in the testimonials that you receive today, you will see our investments in human capital, how we have utilized local knowledge to drive restoration, how we have strengthened the community stewardship, but also the skills and leadership and innovation. And you will hear from one of our staff who actually is also a farmer. Then you will also hear from, so we will also hear from that community in Renzori that we are going to visit. You see how they have coalesced around turning a biodiversity challenge into a business opportunity, but also into an institution that is able to tackle community challenges. You'll also hear from the assets that that particular community has built, but there are 54,000 households in 5 other landscapes that have a similar story. The investments in natural capital, but also the investments in financial capital, right from being able to use every dollar that we get to drive at least $6 in private capital, but also from $2 in internal revenue, our internal revenue. But you will hear from him that it doesn't stop here. When this money is invested in the community, they even use it to generate even more income. Next, Arnold. The whole innovation here is really not necessarily in the money, but being able to get that money from non-traditional sources, being able to use traditional sources to get the money from the non-traditional sources. But also, when that money comes, the nurturing of knowledge, the curation of that knowledge, and the identification of the innovations, curating them and putting them in models that can be transferred. So we come in as experts, we look at the local knowledge systems and the stewardships, we technically specify what the communities are doing and present and build a new asset class, which is either carbon credits or biodiversity credits. But everything is locally implemented, and we also use the digital tools as Sheila demonstrated, but also as Diana demonstrated, to be able to standardize the way to empower the farmers, collect the data that they are collecting, but in a manner that is standardized and is able to meet international scientific requirements. But when we are doing it, we are also safeguarding the rates of the communities. Instead of using technology to replace the technology, or to replace the farmers or to exploit the local stewards, we use this technology to empower the stewardship. So I'm going to request Arnold to, first and foremost, the first testimonial is coming from a video. So Arnold, if you could stop sharing, and then what's his name does that video. So that this is the first testimony. Are you ready, Arnold? This is the first testimony that shows how.
Is in crisis. But in Uganda, a new model is proving that conservation can deliver real value for nature, for communities, and for investors.
As a country, Uganda has been gifted by nature. And this is mainly because of our location in Central Africa, right under the equator. That location really presents us as one of the most biodiverse countries in the whole world.
Just 3 decades ago, Bugoma and Budongo were connected through a tropical forest. Right now, they're actually fragmented, they're disconnected. Wildlife has to move to breed. They will move anywhere, with or without forest. But if you don't have forest, there will be human-wildlife conflict.
The solution? Work with the people who hold the land. Because in Uganda, most biodiversity is in the hands of smallholder farmers.
To trim down on the rate of deforestation and the rate of degradation, we've got to work with the people in whose hands the land is. The biocredits program is supporting local communities in Uganda to access financing in recognition of their contribution to biodiversity.
What makes biocredits investable is rigorous scientific measurement. Every outcome is verified.
The first step that we took is to technically monitor the biodiversity that we have. We also have the community monitoring. We train them on how to monitor, we provide the equipment.
It is designed, implemented, and managed by the communities themselves. It's a system that is able to measure. That information is used to feed into an index. So every 1% change per hectare on that index represents 1 certificate. The areas that are being targeted for where we have been recording movements of chimpanzees.
If it hears you coming, it will hide. That's where the automated equipment come in.
Which is the audio mods and camera traps.
We train the community to manage the equipment. They give us that chance to see what is really inside this forest, what is the complete picture of the biodiversity in the forest.
For investors, biocredits offer something rare, measurable returns on conservation investment.
The biocredits will give us the finance that enables the communities to sustain their forest.
I think it's the future of conservation.
Biocredits, a credible investment in nature, people, and long-term value.
Okay, thank you very much, Arnold. You can now go back to the slides. So I would like to just invite two of my colleagues to just present some of the approaches that we haven't measured presented before. Last week we had the technical approaches and methodologies, and even some of the community engagement approaches were presented. But today, very quickly, Priscilla, if you can take us through the process where these biodiversity initiatives are converted into business cases, the aspects of business incubation.
Thank you very much, Pauline. Once again, a good morning to you all. My name is Priscilla Nawiemba, and I've had the opportunity to work with communities in terms of supporting them in the business incubation process, where the communities have led conservation enterprise development and turned biodiversity and climate challenge into business opportunities. So when we are working with these communities, we have a process of business incubation that they undergo. This is a build-up from the restoration and conservation aspect of their visions and group development. And under livelihood, we do the business incubation, and we start with the visioning or co-creation, where the communities turn local knowledge and information and innovation into business cases. So we start by profiling each of these communities to understand who they are and what they're made of, from which we then facilitate them in developing visions using the approach of gender action and learning systems, which is GALS. They are able to assess their current situation in terms of the business, and their aspirations, and then they draw a journey on how they will actualize that vision. In the process, they are also able to identify the resources around them and how they will manage them and utilize them to reach their visions. We also use a model, which is Start and Improve Your Business, to develop business plans for the businesses that they have chosen in alignment to the, conservation and restoration goals and the resources that they have. At that stage, we currently have 80 businesses that are on that stage, but on the implementation stage, we have 71 businesses that have graduated. And under that stage, we still they are facilitated into finances, where they go into competitive grants. The businesses that are developed, they're forwarded, and the communities develop proposals for them, which are vetted, and the qualifying ones are then further supported with grants or startup capital to boost or inject into their businesses. There's also the loan financing, which most of these groups, under their livelihood plan or visions, they have microfinance or SACCOs, loans and savings. So them being members or part of these groups, community groups, they're able to access such finances which they can inject into their businesses and boost them. The groups are also, the members from the groups also have an input in terms of paying membership, in which sustains the group and makes sure that the plans and the sustainability of the business or the group is continuous. The process that also undertake is to ensure that each of the groups or the community groups is self-sustaining, and they will continuously build the capacity of the groups in attaining technical skills that can help them increase on the production of various forest products that they are engaged in terms of enterprises, to do them in a manner that can satisfy the market, but also reach the required volumes or quantity. Then we identify markets, reliable markets that can support, buy products from these groups. We understand that most of these groups are in very remote areas and, are having many challenges in terms of prices, price fluctuations, etc. But we link them to reliable markets and that can reach them to wherever they are and get into agreements where they can have this continuous assurance of the buyers. On the stage of expansion, we have 18 groups, as you see there, and under this we have established aggregation centers, and these have been linked to off-taking partners. So this model of an aggregation center, which we also call centers of excellence, they demonstrate different practices that can be adopted in the community, but also promote sustainable practices that the businesses can adopt while operating in the different conservation areas or forests that they work in. We also have an approach of collection centers where the different groups can easily access and bulk their products, like the honey products, the coffee, to ensure that the quality is maintained, but also the accessibility and availability of that chain is available. Then we support the groups in value addition. We realize that some of the groups still, have limited knowledge on the different aspects. So we undertake that process. We facilitate the groups to add value on their products so that they can have multiple incomes from the different products that can be produced from their product, from their value chains. Then that is when we realize the impact. When we go through this process, we realize the impact and growth to which we aim at, seeing thriving enterprises, strong communities that are resilient, and having healthy ecosystems. Thank you. Yes, so currently the businesses that have been supported are 6, and the one that has been dominant is beekeeping. Then we have tree nursery, we have coffee bulking, we have a shea value chain, we have fish farming, and sustainable timber harvesting. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Priscilla. Jonah, we would like to move very fast. You can bring on Jonah. We would like to move very fast so that we give enough time for the community, but also for questions. This time around, we would like to leave a bit of time for people to ask questions. So over to you, Jonah.
Yeah, thanks, Pauline. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jonah Butsasa, and what can I say? I've supported the rollout of the Farmer's Voice methodology across most of the EcoTrust project areas or implementation areas. And I'll just give a brief overview of this methodology, FVR, that was introduced to EcoTrust by the Lona Young Foundation. At EcoTrust, we use Farmers Voice Radio to create dialogue between farmers or communities that we work with and technical experts um, the technical experts who can provide them with information that they need to enable them succeed in their different initiatives or help them address the challenges that are pertinent to their societies, to their groups, or to the project interventions that they're involved in. So FVR is really more of an extension service tool that utilizes local radio stations to disseminate vital information to our target communities at the right time and in a language that they can understand. We also describe FVR as a school without walls, where informal conversations or learning takes place between farmers and technical experts. And these discussions are facilitated by radio presenters, and they are packaged um, and put on radio as pre-recorded, but very short and focused programs. So the methodology is generally highly participatory, with farmers at the heart of the design and the implementation. We usually work with a small group of farmers that are representative of the project implementation area. And in working with them, we try to understand their challenges and translate those challenges into topics that can be discussed. And in doing that, we come up with a content plan. Usually we develop a content plan for about a year. The farmers themselves, after selecting or identifying the topics that they would like to discuss that would address their information gaps, they also go ahead to identify experts that they think would help them to address these topics. They select their preferred radio station that they would want to work with in broadcasting the radio programs. They even choose a name for their radio programs. They compose a jingle for the radio program. So it's really a community-owned and led radio type of initiative. And this process chart here outlines the implementation steps really from start to finish. Of course, after setting up the structures with this very select and diverse group of farmers that we call listener group members, we have these monthly meetings in the communities where we discuss this, where the farmers actually, where the farmers discuss topics that, like I said before, are recorded by radio presenters, but also the radio presenters facilitate these discussions between farmers and technical experts. Again, even when we have these listener group meetings on a monthly basis, the farmers themselves do most of the talking. They share their experiences, they share their indigenous knowledge on various topics, and the experts I've mentioned just jump in to correct any misconceptions that they might have or fill in any information gaps. And at EcoTrust, we found this approach, this methodology, to be highly effective in creating awareness in communities, in increasing uptake of knowledge, improving attitudes and practices among farming communities in particular. But especially because these radio programs are, again, mostly dominated by these local voices, by farmers whose voices are very relatable, and this creates a certain level of trust in the communities and with the people who listen to them over the radio. So that's the Farmers Voice Radio in a nutshell. We are currently running this intervention in, I think, all the landscapes that EcoTrust is currently working in, and of course constantly measure the effectiveness of this tool. There's more that I would say to it, but I think I'll stop there for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Arnold, if you could switch us to the landscape. At the landscape, we are going to meet two types of testimonies. One of them is, oh, she's using this, eh? Okay. One of them is a personal testimony, an individual. She will tell her story, and then the other is a group-based testimony. Where are you? Well, I don't know. There's something wrong with my screen. I can't quite see the person. I hope that okay, now I can see Winnie. So yes, Winnie, over to you. You can introduce yourself and tell your story. And then after Winnie, we will meet the communities that Winnie works with. And Winnie, you can tell us where you are.
Thank you very much, Pauline. Good morning, everyone. My name is Namuria Winifred. I work with EcoTrust, and I'm now at Charumba Banywani Free Farmers Office. I'm here to share with you my story, my journey. I joined EcoTrust so many years ago. I started my career as a primary school teacher. In the community I was living, we had a central forest reserve, which was degraded by the community members. So we sat with some community members and we came up with an idea of starting an organization to see how we could conserve that forest, and that was Mobuku Integrated Farmers Association. From there, EcoTrust and Care International came on board. They took us through negotiation between National Forestry Authority and MIFA to manage part of the land with an intention of conserving it and being able to also use it sustainably. They took us through the process and we were able to sign the MOU. They gave us an agreement of 35 years, and we are given 35 hectares to look after. From there, EcoTrust went ahead and they told us about the Trees for Global Benefit project. A few farmers joined at that time. I think over 12 farmers joined, but I was very skeptical to join because it was, you're going to plant trees, then they're going to pay you, the trees are yours, the land is yours. So we kept on wondering, are these people not going to steal our land? So I didn't take the first step. I waited in the second recruitment, I joined, and I was able to plant 1,000 trees. And by that time, I didn't have land. I planted the 1,000 trees on family land. Wow, then after a short period of time, I received my first carbon payment. When I received that money, I was very excited because I imagine I have the trees, I have my land, and I now have the money. And at that time, it was not easy to get seedlings for planting. So I immediately thought of starting up a nursery bed. Arnold, the next slide, please. I started up a nursery bed with my first payment, and the enterprise grew. I was able to train also other people to start up nursery business. I went ahead, I continued mobilizing farmers. I mobilized farmers. Of course, it was not easy at the start, but being that I was into it, I had already benefited. It was very easy for farmers to buy in. So in the area sub-county, I had planted my trees. The farmers trusted me. They elected me as their farmer coordinator. So the first payment I received, we were paid through another circle. So we still sat and said, we cannot continue getting our money from other circles. As the members who had started the MIFA, we said, and I would start and say we need to start our circle. We came up with the Mobuku Integrated Farmers Circle, where we started with 35 members. And as we speak now, we have over 16,000 members. This circle has grown from day one, it has been growing. The number of farmers has increased, farmers access loans, and they access these loans using their carbon sale agreements. So went ahead, they elected me as a circle manager for that particular circle, and I was in that position for 4 years. I learned a lot. I trained my fellow other members on how we could save. But when I was doing that as a manager, EcoTrust would come and I would volunteer to work with them. They go to the field, I'm with them. Like any other passionate person, because I already seen the importance of conservation and also having benefited as a carbon farmer, I kept moving with them. They would go to the field, I'm with them. So from there, my career grew. I became a volunteer. From there, I became an intern. I became a program assistant. From there, I became a landscape coordinator, program coordinator, and now a landscape coordinator. I coordinate the Rwenzori landscape that covers up to around 6 districts in the Western Uganda. So in 2021, they introduced the gender action learning tools. This was another very good opportunity for me because these tools are really very practical. And when we were taken through these tools, I was able to get the knowledge and made sure that I use it in the communities that I work with. These tools did not leave me the same. They have really transformed me on the way I handle communities. They are very easy to use because the communities participate on their own. They're able to draw whatever they want to achieve in a certain period of time. I continued to mobilize. I didn't stop at that. Through these tools, I was able to mobilize up to around 31,000 farmers, and these farmers have formed 58 farmer groups. We have trained these farmers on what sustainability measures. We have trained them in business, like Priscilla mentioned. We have made sure that whatever they put on paper, whatever they draw, they're able to sustain it. So this is me today. I'm not just a retired primary school teacher. I'm retired but not tired. I'm a farmer, a very proud one. I'm a landscape coordinator, a community leader, and an international trainer. My future is really very bright. When I look at my future and the steps I've passed through, I see a very bright future because I have established a woodlot, which I know in future can help me economically. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Winnie. So maybe, Winnie, you can actually do the honors of introducing your group to us. So now those are some of the community members that Winnie is with. So Winnie, take over the next session. Introduce to us your group, and then let them take us through. Basically, take over now the meeting.
Thank you very much. Like I mentioned in my communication.
It's okay, we can hear you.
Presentation. We have reached out to we have 58 organized groups, and today we are here to listen to the story of Charumba Banywani Tree Farmers Circle, which we have been working with for over 14 years. They will be here to present their story, and I'll be able to hand you over to the one, Kimera William. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Kimera William from Burumbika Village, Ibimbo Parish, Chondo Sub-County, a member of Charumba Banywani Tree Farmers. I'm here to present an achievement road journey for Charumba Banywani Tree Farmers, KBT in short, from 2012 through June 2026. When it came to 2000, one community member thought of the community destroying and vandalizing things in Mount Rwenzori National Park. And community members could go to Mount Rwenzori National Park for firewood, meat, and herbal medicine. So here is a meeting. This member came to 2 members and talked about the dangers of going to the national park. That is to say, death, imprisonment, and other dangers that are associated to poaching and encroaching the gazetted government lands. Then those 2 members welcomed the idea and decided to move house to house to teach the community members about the dangers of going to the national park. And they came up to 50 members. And those 50 members agreed to make an organization, which is the current Charumba Banywani Tree Farmers Group. And it is from 1 person to 2 to 50 who have achieved these achievements. To begin with, Charumba Banywani Tree Farmers have tried to cover some of the mountain slopes of Rwenzori, and in particular Bukonzo. And they have filled them with trees and coffee. And in this coffee, we have managed to get products as you see them. This is clean, this is chiboko, this is the parchment. And as I can tell you, this group has advanced in a way that it has managed to teach the community to get quality coffee. In other words, these are the samples. So this is greenish. So they have taught the community members that picking green coffee minimizes the quality of the coffee that is supposed to be produced in the mountains. Then this one, some people may say it is ready for picking, but in order to get quality coffee, such a type of coffee is not yet ready for picking. Then we have got the red cherry. So this one is now ready for picking, and it will give good quality coffee. That is why you have seen our parchment, which is this one. You have seen our chiboko, which is this one, well dried, and we have got our kirin, which is well sorted. And it is from this that we can take for frying, grinding, and then we package as you have seen here. So this is the type of coffee. We have added value on it. As we take it for selling, this means we shall harvest much more than taking this one, than taking as you see this. Now, within those trees, we have started another project. We call it apiary or beekeeping. And these are the products that we get from the bees, as you see, and other jerrycans in other coordinating centers that we reach. That means I would like to tell you that this organization works in Bukonzo, from Mahango up to Bera. We are in over 10 sub-counties of Bukonzo. So these members, having organized themselves, they went ahead and made research. That is when they heard about what we call MIFA, which Madam Winnie has just talked about. And it is this MIFA that trained it is this group that trained these members to organize themselves well, so that they also reach at a good level. Now from there, this group formed what we call a circle, which circle is doing the following activities. One, it is doing saving and credit. It is also, it has got what we call accounts, both in centenary and post bank. And in centenary rural development bank, we have got two accounts. Which accounts? One is the main account which holds the carbon fund credit, and post bank, we keep there the profits that we get from our products. That is to say, honey, coffee, and other projects that we are carrying out. Then another account is in centenary, which is for Charumba Banywani coffee business. In addition to this, because people were going to the national park to look for firewood, to look for herbal medicine, to look for meat, we opted to begin livestock for revolving. And this was made in a way that we give one animal to 3 people. They care for it. Then after giving birth, other members are also given the 2 remaining. So that when one lacks money to buy, to pay school fees, buy scholastic materials, he can sell off or she can sell off one of the offsprings of the animals that we have given them. And we have also achieved increase in number. From 1,350, we are now 12,400 members. That makes up Charumba Banywani Tree Farmers Circle, which is a good idea of members joining, and when they save, when they get loans, we get profits that help us to steer or to boost our organization. Then, having organized at this level, we also opted to make a memorandum of understanding or an MOU with the Bukonzo Joint, which has a good stated factory where we are doing the frying of this coffee, the grinding and packaging from. And this one, we thank them for having allowed us or for having given us chance to allow us to be making our businesses under them. So they are also giving us more trainings in order to reach at a level where outside and inside Uganda people can admire our products. And we also came to a suggestion that all members should co-fund each 25 kilograms so that we begin this coffee business per season. And this one, we have managed to get 483.03 tons of coffee. And this one, we include that one that we buy from other members. In this, a person brings coffee, we deduct the 25 kilograms for co-funding, and in return, we give bonus because those members have become shareholders of the project. And we also buy the surplus of their coffee. And this one was supported by CCF from Eco Trust as our good partner. Then from there, we opted to have good safes where the surplus of money can be kept. And in addition to this, the circle has moved a step by creating a software in order to safeguard members' money. From these profits, we realized that some of our members die in the community because of lack of money. Now here we opted to begin a clinic that can be handling cases of illnesses. And in this, we started it from the profits from the loans members take, and from the business we are carrying out. That is to say, the business of coffee, both this raw coffee and the dried coffee, and the one that we have added value. Now, from this, we realized that these people have got dangerous illnesses or incurable diseases like hypertension and diabetes. An example, I'm one of the affected people. So it was agreed upon that those people should be treated freely. So KBT treats hypertension people and diabetic people. They go there and they show what we call a passbook to indicate that they are real members. And also they use their carbon agreement forms. Now, we started it on 10th August 2024. And from there, we have worked upon 2,085 cases. And out of these, 1,242 are members, and 843 are non-members. Now, for the case of the members, this one, for those who are having typhoid, malaria, and other diseases, they use the passbook in order to be given medicine, because they divide the bills. After prescribing, they bill, if let me say the bill has come up to 30,000 shillings, a member pays 15,000 and the circle pays 15,000 from the profits they get from their projects. And this one has assisted so many members as I have indicated. And the circle did not stop from there. So they handed the responsibility of members' lives to the clinic attendants or management. They have gone ahead and made an insurance group for referrals, because there are cases which we cannot manage here. Let me say a person can be referred to Kagando, St. Mary's, St. Paul, and other hospitals like Mbarar. So this insurance follows those clients of ours up to the hospitals they will be taken to. And also insurance pays a half of the bills that will be charged in those particular hospitals where our clients have been taken to. So from there, we opted to buy pulp machines. And we opted to buy this simply because we pulp coffee in order to get parchment. In other words, we get different contracts. There are those who want clean, we make it for them. There are those who want parchment, we make it for them. There are those who want chiboko, we also keep it for them. So that is why we opted to buy a pulp machine. And it is outside, as you can see. So it is behind you, sir. Now, so this one, we made a practical show by pulping this one you are seeing. We pulped it today. And this is a dried one. And it is looking like this. It's supposed to be clean. This one is going to be used in the nursery bed. That is why we left it as it is. And we opted to show it to you, because you may say our coffee is not good. For that one, which is used for consumption, we clean it very well. And when you have cleaned it, so you are not supposed to use it in a nursery bed. So we did not clean this one. And from there, we also made sure that we give these farmers revolving animals in order to avoid people going to Mount Rwenzori National Park for hunting. That is why we started up this project. So from there, we sat down and saw that members or staff who stays here, and these people, as they are seated, they want to drink. We opted to bring water to our premises. So from this, we have procured 13 pieces of land. These lands are divided. The 8 pieces will be used for constructing offices, the factories, and so many other things that we may do. And the 5 pieces, we have reserved them for our. We have also planted trees in order our members to be learning from these gardens. Then coffee also. Then we have gone ahead and procured a motorcycle. Since I have told you that we are working in over 10 sub-counties, so this motorcycle assists the field officers and other related officers to move around these collecting centers, and also taking people to the demonstration gardens I have shown you. Then we have also managed to hire vehicles to carry the product from the collecting centers in the sub-counties to the main office, ready for market. And they are the same vehicles that are used to transport the product from the office to the market. So we have got this one, a standby generator that is used when electricity power goes off. And because of this factory, out of the 481.803 tons, we have managed to package 800 kilograms. In order, we have managed to add value to 800 kilograms from our partners, which is Bukonzo Joint. Then, in addition to this, members have been taught to have meetings, seminars, and other related trainings. So that is why you have seen members of Charumba Banyuani performing well because of the seminars, trainings, and workshops that are taking place in the area. Then from there, I can take you to the opportunities that have led us to achieve these achievements. Before I take you to the achievement and to the opportunities, we are receiving guests or visitors from outside who use aeroplanes. And we are putting it here. A person may ask, do you have an aeroplane? We say, no, we don't have it. But our visitors use it. So that is an achievement, because a person cannot move right away from England, America, using a vehicle and reach here in time. Then we have also managed to rent the warehouse where we are keeping our products. And we have managed to procure our own premises. Like I speak now, where we are standing now is Charumba Banyuani property. Where there is a clinic is Charumba Banyuani property. And where there is an office here is Charumba Banyuani property. And that one of Kisinga, in Kisinga Town Castle, is Charumba Banyuani property. And we are proposing to construct another one in Kahocha and Chetabu. at least we have managed to procure their own lands where offices will be constructed. So that is an achievement. Now allow me show you the opportunities that has led us to achieve these achievements. To begin with, the first 3 people who sat down and discussed the dangers of people going to the national park. This is an opportunity because having thought of this, they made it or they implemented it. That is why we have achieved this. And from there, we opted to be making monthly meetings. And in these monthly meetings, there are so many things that are being discussed. For example, we discuss about the development of the organization, new innovations that may come in, and this one has assisted us very much. And the offices that we are living in or that we are operating in have also assisted us very much, because these offices are lockable, which means thieves cannot break into them, since we have security given by government and our own security. Then the savings that members give in also helps us to prosper, and the loans they are taking, because we are getting profit from them. And the business we are carrying out, which was supported by EcoTrust, also helps us very much. And the members themselves, co-funding the 25 kilograms of coffee from his or her own coffee, also assists us very much. And at the same time, these people are the ones selling us this coffee to reach up to 481.803 tons. And the clinic also has reduced the problems of sicknesses, since it has come nearer to the people, and at the same time, since the circle is even paying half of the medications given to our clients. Then Post Bank and Centenary Bank has assisted us very much in keeping our money, and at the same time, the software that the circle developed also assists us very much in a way that farmers' money is kept safely. In case of any problem, it's that company that will refund that money. Then we have got government. This one has assisted us very much in a way that, in fact, if my hands were not very small, I would give them a very nice clap. That is to say, the agricultural officers, the CDOs, the chairperson local council 3 and 1 and 2 have helped us very much in the following ways. The agricultural officers have extended their workshops, seminars, knowledge nearer to our people in order to improve on the methods of farming. And the CDOs have connected our groups to outside groups that can facilitate these groups in order to achieve other good things. And the local council 1 and 3 have assisted us by recommending the members. In other words, we are working with a very good population, because to join this group, chairperson local council 1 of every village has to recommend that this one has a garden, is a good person in the community, so you can recruit him or her in your organization. That is why the rates of theft are not heard of in this organization, because we are with good people right away from the grassroots up to where we have reached. The nursery operators have also helped us very much by supplying seedlings to our group members in order to try to cover up some of the slopes of our mountains. And the procurement of 13 pieces of land has assisted us very much in a way that we have managed to get demonstration gardens and construction of our offices. Then the carbon credit has also assisted us very much in a way that it has boosted the members' savings and the livelihood of these members. In a way that when a carbon credit is given to our members, they manage to pay school fees, to buy scholastic materials to their peoples or children, and they manage to save on this one. And at the same time, they use this carbon to prepare their lands, and also to manage to pay the half of the medical bills that are charged by the clinic. Now, from there, we have also got our partners. Our partners who allowed us to be packing our coffee from their premises. For those people outside, and the chairperson local council 3, town council and sub-county, where you get because to join the people, tell them we are thanking them because of their responsibility they have to us. So even though we have got all this, we have got some challenges. One of the challenges is that we have got sub-counties like Kahocha, where there is a lot of sunshine. And in these areas, there are a lot of termites. So termites destroys our trees that have already been planted. And another thing is that we have got the poor methods of farming. Even though the agricultural officers and other related groups of people are teaching us about the good methods of farming, most of them have not yet copied fully the new methods. So because of this, it has led to landslides. You find out that a person have a garden on the slopes of these mountains, and that person does not use the new methods like terracing, mulching, contour plowing. So as rain rains, it sweeps away, hence leading to landslides. And this one, at the end result, we find out that our trees even are swept away because of our poor methods. Then lack of our own means of transport, to transport the commodity from the collection center to the main store, and from the main store to the market. Then too much sunshine, like nowadays. Some of our tree dries up during heavy sunshine, which leads to the reduction of the number of trees that we are supposed to be having now. Then you have a problem of swine fever, which attacks animals like pigs. This one would be having more than 258 pigs. But because of this problem, some die, and some die because of the disease. So this one makes a reduction in the number of animals that we are supposed to be having. Then the factory I talked about, where we are frying, grinding, and packaging from, is on sale. So we are very much worried that when another person takes it from the hands of conjoint, may not allow us to be using the facility. So that is a challenge to us. Then there is domestic violence. This domestic violence hinders us very much, because when domestic violence is in one's family, that means all activities that are being carried out in that family are being paralyzed. You find out that a woman does her own things and a man does his own things, and at the end result, they fail to make the saving, which hinders our growth. Then there are those people, thieves, who steal our trees at night. And these trees, some of them use them for constructing their small houses, others use them for firewood, and others use them for charcoal. So this one is a problem that hinders our prosperity. Then there is a problem of illnesses. So this one hinders us very much in a way that if a member is hospitalized, that person cannot do anything profitable, which will lead to the prosperity of the organization. Then those people who are longing to join the organization. So these ones hinders very much in a way that if they also join, that means the savings of the organizations will increase. Now, in conclusion, I have one good pattern, which is the eco trust. I intended it to talk about it lastly. I wanted at least to talk it at length, about it at length. This one has assisted the members of Charumba Banywani in so many ways. One, it gives the carbon credit to members, which carbon credit assists us very much in the savings, paying the bills, cleaning our gardens, in order very many people to admire them. And another thing, this organization has given us over 100 million shillings as CCF, and which CCF is one of the capital that have assisted us very much in the prosperity of our coffee business. Because of this capital, we managed to boost the business, the small business that we had started. As I had earlier on put it, I had said that we started by co-funding 25 kilograms each person. So the 25 kilograms could not lead us to where we are now. But because of the CCF that was provided to us by EcoTrust, and they have trained other more two groups which are going to receive soon, that is to say Kahocha and Karambe circles. So those ones we are waiting, or we are looking forward to receiving their CCF, which will lead us to prosper more than we have reached. So with this, allow me stop here, and I thank you for your listening. I remain yours, Kimera William, a member of Charumba Banywani Tree Farmers Circle. Amina.
Thank you very much, Kimera.
You're welcome.
Even all the communities that are there, maybe you can show us a bit more, some of these, yes. So all these people are in attendance, listening to their colleague, representing them in this webinar. So members of Charumba Banywani, you are presenting to an international audience. Media team, I don't know whether you're able to do that screen where all of us, all the people that have logged in can be seen. But yes, so your story is being shared with other people mostly from Africa. What's your name? Olivia, I would like to give it back to you, because right now, like I said, we have presented these are testimonies. We have so many other that we could have brought, but we thought that today we should leave enough time for questions from what Chimera has presented, from what Jonah, Priscilla presented, but also questions that maybe people wanted to give Diana, Sheila, Lydia in the other webinars, and they never got them. So I don't know whether you or Yemi, we could also like to get some feedback. Maybe I could put Tai on the spot here if he's still online, and whoever you could give some word of encouragement, wisdom, feedback to at least to the Charumba Banywani. So it would be extremely useful that you give them feedback on how you have received their story, but also generally ask whatever questions that you would like to ask. And I see Mr. Chimera is ready. with the with the microphone. Mr. Chimera, people have been sending me messages that your energy is infectious. They feel energized wherever they are because of the energy and the passion with which you have been presenting your story. I see Ty, your hand is up. Please go for it.
Okay, thank you very much, Pauline. Just because you challenged me, I'm taking the liberty to just say a few words. Best, let me just start by thanking the presenter with so much passion, so much knowledge, and you really educated us in terms of how when communities are given the opportunity to organize, to think together, to manage their future, how they can actually not only support their environment and grow with it, but also support the community to drive their development forward. This is a highly inspiring story. It's a fantastic development. I hope you can go forward by fully documenting this and creating into a good community-based narrative, like a video that can be shared widely across Africa. I think for me, it's really, really empowering. I've learned a lot, and I really want to thank you very, very much. This is fantastic. Just want to express my appreciation. I have a question for the technical guys, but I'll wait for that. Maybe I'll put that in the chat. Just only to say that this is really, really fantastic. Very rich. And Pauline and EcoTrust, thank you for creating this opportunity, for helping them go forward, but also for helping us learn from their experience. I think this is really great. Thank you.
Ty, you can go ahead. Diana and Priscilla and what have you, they're all online. The past presenters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then this is a bit of a technical question. So,
Mr. Chimera, it's okay. You can have your seat.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, with the carbon credit, in terms of, practically quantifying the carbon that is sequestered and then how you then present that to the prospective buyer, the system is relatively easy. I'm just curious, practically, how do you quantify the biodiversity credit in terms of, how you then move after sort of aggregating, move towards the prospective buyer and then look around, who would actually take the bite in a sense, who would be willing to actually pay for it. How do you quantify the biodiversity credits?
Diana, would you like to start from would you like to start answering, and then if you've left out anything I could add? Dr. Diana, if you could unmute yourself and respond. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that question. Yeah, we realize, as it is globally known, the climate, quantifying the carbon credit is quite straightforward. When it comes to the biocredits, as I mentioned, the credit is quantified in terms of certificates. Now, a certificate is a percentage change. It's a 1% change per hectare per year. So when we are crediting the biocredits, we monitor every year. So every year for a restoration certificate, for a restoration project, you have to have a 1% uplift from where you were last year. So that 1% increase will give you a certificate. Now, depending on how many certificates will determine how many credits you get. So unlike the carbon, the credits, there's no like figure for carbon. It's easy. If it's this species, we know it can get this carbon for a year. It's quite easy. But for biodiversity, it changes. So, and it depends. So the certificates you get are easy to calculate. When we get that multi-metric that I showed you last time, when you calculate after collecting the data from the audio modes, from the camera traps, from the satellite imagery, you calculate the multi-metric and you get one multi-metric. So that multi-metric, that figure that you get will be translated into the certificates that you get. So those certificates will be the number of credits that you get, but the cost is a different story because the cost.
Diana, maybe I could take it from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. But also tie on in the short of it, we have a multi-pillar matrix which has a measure for species diversity, both abundancy and both the numbers and the different species. But then we also have taxonomic dissimilarity. Then on the habitat side, we have two pillars. So what Diana's team is doing first and foremost is to identify the indicators for those pillars through all that collaborative assessment that they've done with the community. Now this year, they will set the baseline. Where do we stand on each of those indicators on those 5 pillars? So this year they will set the baseline. So we are starting with about 1,200 hectares. So every 1% change on that multi-metric is the credit. So that is what we'll be going with to the market. Now, the pricing, there is a willingness to accept, but also there is a willingness to pay. So at the point at which those two meet becomes the price. So our willingness to accept is the cost of doing business. The cost of doing business, which is the cost of the restoration work, the cost of the control activities, the monitoring, the patrolling, and what have you, but also other supportive activities like the institutional building and land tenure things and so on and so forth on one part. But also there is another part that is supposed to reward the communities because they should go with a bit of cash in their pockets. And then there's also another part which is supposed to be set aside for managing threats that are resulting from improving biodiversity, for example, the human-wildlife conflict. So once we have figured out the cost of all those things, that will be what our price will be. But our ability to achieve that price also depends on our ability to meet the people that are willing to pay that price. So what we are doing right now, we have some private philanthropy funding that has been given to us by the Netherlands National Lotto. So we are using that to experiment even as we are doing the baseline. So by the time we are through, by the time we do the next monitoring, which will show how many certificates came out of our work, we will have known how much we have had to invest and also reward and also human-wildlife conflict. So we will have established what our price is. So the price is really a function of the willingness to accept for us and also the buyer's willingness to pay. And if I could compare, like you can build the same house or same flat, build it in Kampala, but the same flat, same size, same amenities can be built in New York. The rent that you pay in Kampala will be very different from the rent that you pay in New York. So whatever the buyer's willingness to pay will depend on how much value they attach to what we are doing. But just like how this person chooses New York and invests there, we also need to be able to tell the story around the core benefits and what have you, to be able to make ourselves appealing to the buyer. So basically we are still going through market development, and we are part of the people that are providing the lessons that are informing how this market is emerging. And right now I'm actually attending this meeting from London, participating in the London Climate Action Week. And for me, I'm engaging with climate action actors that could be willing to invest money in biocredits, maybe even plus carbon credits, but primarily biodiversity credits. So it's very, very long response, but yes, it's a very, very good question, and that's the answer to that question. I don't see other hands.
Yes,
Maybe.
Pauline, but we have a question in the chat box from Joel, who is, of course, congratulating the community for the great presentation, but he has a question asking, is EcoTrust Biodiversity Credit Program countrywide, or is it in specific regions in Uganda? And then he's also asking, who sets the prices of the credits and what determines the prices of the credits?
I've just explained what determines the price. It's for us, we want to give the price. I think that was Tai, or maybe not. For us, we know how much we want to get. How much we want to get, we want to recover our costs. So we will set a base and say we don't want to go below this because this is how much it takes to. So nobody sets the prices, and nobody determines what determines the price is willingness to accept and willingness to pay. So at the point that this is a market, like we said, it's a market-based incentive. So what you can say, I am growing tomatoes, me, I want 1,000 Uganda shillings per tomato, but the market is like, no, the utility I get out of a tomato is 300 shillings per tomato, and then where you meet halfway is where the price is. So this is really a real proper example of a market-based incentive. So if we are able, like all of you are giving positive feedback about our approaches and the benefits and the core benefits, so if we are able to tell this story the way it is, we should be able to get a good price for our credits. And yes, our plan is to cover the whole country, but it's a market-driven model. We must be able to mobilize farmers, but also at the same time mobilize market actors that will be able to deliver the financing that we need to the farmers. But so we realize that it's probably not possible for us to have sufficient access to market to meet everybody in Uganda. So what we are doing is that we are training other people, other organizations that would like to invest in this, even in the whole of Africa. The reason we presented this webinar is so that as many organizations as possible can pick whatever aspect that they would like to pick, so that these opportunities can benefit as many Africans as possible. So we are available, willing to train. Did Winnie mention that she's now an international trainer? So Winnie is available, for example, to train in all these community engagements, and Diana has a team with which she trains all these biodiversity assessments. Lydia has a team with which she's able to train all these carbon modeling and so on and so forth. So we are not only transferring our innovations to the rest of Uganda, but also to the rest of Africa.
Pauline, can I
yes,
just
please
make a comment?
Yes.
Hear me.
Mm.
So as I was listening to the community presentation and that energy that you referred to, so I cast my mind back to the last webinar where you presented your model, where you had the vision. You start off, what do communities want based on what they have, the resources that they have, and so on. And then you had the actions and a bit of a reflection on their past. What was the condition? What are the challenges? What are the opportunities? So as I was listening to that, it brought this model or this flow. I can't remember. I sort of have a visual picture of the diagram. So I listen to the community that is organized, that is clear, that has a vision. But most importantly, there's an alignment of vision between what the community want and EcoTrust as a partner. Because if there is no alignment of vision between the partners, it's going to be very difficult to actually achieve what we were listening too. So that's really important. So as I listened, there's clearly a level of trust between the partners, the parties, and I think that this has brought, a lot of value into the success that has been presented, by the community, and that vision uh, translates ultimately into the theory of change and the overall impact that is desired. So that alignment was very clear, for me as I listened to the presentation. But also the challenges. I mean, they come out as the presentation is being made. What are some of the challenges? Whether it was about security, seedlings, that we need to establish a seedling, a nursery, and so on and so on. So you listen to some of this, and then the opportunities. What are the opportunities that the community sees in order to attain the vision that they have? And clearly, this comes out. So the challenges of health, they come up with a clinic. How do we add value? So they process the coffee, they form other partnerships, they package, the coffee. So I think that for me, it was a very powerful shift from looking at a diagram that outlines a process to now hearing the testimonial of a community without necessarily saying, step one, step seven, step whatever, but they tell the story and all these components come together and you begin to see why it is important, that these pieces come together. So for me, this brought it home in a very powerful way. So just want to appreciate, to thank the communities, the clarity and the confidence and conviction in who they are, the belief in their capabilities, the value that they see in the resources, the people, the relationships that they have, within their community. And the statement that, in the community, the way they recruit others to be part of this social movement. This is what it is. This is a social movement, really. Starting off with small group of people, they begin to identify and see the value, and they join and they join. So you start with a small group, and now you end up, I can't remember, 16,500 members. I mean, that is powerful. So congratulations to everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, Yemi. Thank you very much. I don't know. Who else should I put on the spot? Paul, are you still online? Would you like to say something? And Yemi, you got it. You really, really, really got it, because these are people that are setting aside a portion of their land to invest in tree growing. So surely they have a vision. And surely the vision is in their best interest. So for us as experts, as Diana explained, as Lydia explained, we just technically specify what they are doing. But also that tool that they showed, the Achievement Road Journey, there are many, many, many other tools, but they were developed by Oxfam. They were developed by Oxfam for social development. But for us, we have adapted them. They were mainly developed to enable men and women work together to confront the challenges that normally hinder development programs from taking place. So for us, we have adopted them and used them in forestry. And yes, the social capital, I think one of the most success factor is really the social capital. Once there's that alignment between the community vision and what we are doing, and the community is going along with it, then the sky is the limit. Okay, so Paul, I don't see your mic on. I don't know if you're able to speak. Paul Muruingi.
Maybe Pauline, as Paul is preparing, I have a quick question to the guy who presented from the community. And
Yeah.
maybe And I don't know if he mentioned it and I missed it, but I'm just curious because the project has been there since 2012, I think, to date. So I'm just thinking, like, how have they been able to keep the momentum of the community going, like, throughout? And also, like, have they been engaging with the same community members throughout, or do they keep on changing? Because they have close to, as Yemi has said, as mentioned, 1,000 plus members. So how have they been able to keep the momentum of the community going throughout? Because in my community back in the village, my mom has been in a group of community activities, but it doesn't last for long. So how have they been able to work together and keep the momentum of the community going throughout the years?
Thank you,
Mr.
madam.
Chimera, Mr. Chimera, are you here? Are you there?
I'm,
You can
I'm
respond.
there.
Yes, please respond to that question.
I'm there. Thank you for your question. In most cases, some organizations fail simply because they lack trustworthiness. But for the case of Charumba Banywani, the organizers, the leadership is trusted. Another thing, we have been taught the advantages of working together. So I assure you that we shall not fail simply because everybody is participating in order to reach at the apex of our circle. And we are examples. In other words, people are referring to us in other circles. Others are coming here to get knowledge as how we are organizing our things. So get assured that we shall remain there forever.
Mr. Chimera, what's the meaning of the name of the group?
The meaning
of what is it in full? What is it in full?
It is Charumba Banywani, tree farmers. Those are those people who are in friendship.
So Charumba is a location. So
Charumba is a location.
So friends in Charumba.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think that's it. I don't see any other question. I wanted to give someone from the French-speaking community, from somewhere from West Africa, so that we can hear your voice. I don't know where Elvis comes from. Ayamba Achare.
Maybe Pauline Chinenye's hand is up, so maybe.
Okay, please go ahead, Anekwe. Please go ahead and make your comment or question.
Okay, hi, Pauline, and thank you so much for organizing this, and thank you for organizing this. I'm actually not responding to to your Africa. I'm just reflecting on the entire presentation, and just to re-echo the entire thank you, the entire accolades that everybody has actually given to your team. This is so mind-blowing what you're doing. So congratulations to you and your team. I'm just curious to ask about what the female presenter before this man took over. I'm sorry, I'm not able to pick the names. So when she was mentioning about the gender action plan that she used to aid her work in the community, I'm just very curious to understand how she used the gender action plan for her work. How are female actually engaged? I'm actually looking at the people that are seated there, and I see a lot more of our wonderful men. So I'm just curious to know how the women are really engaged here, and how are they also benefiting how are they also benefiting from the entire program? I'm just curious to know how women are engaged and how they are really benefiting, not to stretch matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to you, Winnie. I hope you're still there.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. The gender action learning tools, one, they are participatory. The farmers are able to envision what they want to see. They draw exactly what they want to see. If a farmer said they want to construct a house, they clearly draw the way they understand it. So the beauty with these tools and why I have managed also to reach the numbers, it is because that farmers participate. As you train them, they actively participate to show you what they want to see their households look like, to show you what they want to see their communities look like, and to show you how they want to see their areas look like. But also using these tools. Previously, the women used not to participate. You'd go for a meeting, and it was only men putting up their hands, talk and sit. But this time, because of these tools, the women have also come at the forefront. They're able to draw clearly what they want to see, and they also stand up and draw on a chart. Like you have seen these charts, they have used the achievement road journey. Someone clearly draws how they look at their homestead in the vision road journey and how their homestead looks like in the achievement road journey. So the basic thing with these tools, they are participatory. Thank you very much.
Winnie, I can see there is a vision road journey behind you, or is that an achievement road journey? Maybe the camera person can. You can see, so all these different, maybe you can tell us about it. So all these different pictures were drawn by different individuals. Maybe Winnie, you can just tell us the circle that is the vision, where they're coming, not necessarily giving us the details, but the different components of that vision region. These are the tools that I was talking about were developed by Oxfam, that now Winnie has been trained as a champion, and then now she's using it to be able to engage with the community. So if you could just describe quickly, at least the overall what that is on the wall, so that you can visualize. But I don't know whether you also have the numbers. You have some stories of women engagement that maybe you could share with her as well.
Thank you very much.
But also how are women benefiting as well? If you can just highlight that, because I think that was a core part of the question as well. So if you can highlight that as well. Thanks.
Thank you very much. We have this tool, which is called the Vision Road Journey. Here, the group members come up and indicate what they want to achieve in a period of time. They come up clear and indicate what they want to achieve in a period of time. When you look at this Vision Journey, it was done on the 24th of November 2000, running from 2003. So the farmers are able to draw what they want to achieve. They indicate where they have been, and they're able to come up with that. They indicate where they were in the past. They indicate their current situation. They come up with the different opportunities that will help them achieve their vision. They come up with the anticipated challenges that may deter them from achieving their vision. Then they indicate what they want to achieve in every year or every month, depending on how long the vision road journey is taking place. So this is how it is done. They start with their vision, they show their current situation, they show their past, they come to the opportunities, they come to the challenges, and then they indicate what they are going to achieve in a particular year. But they also have the activities that they are going to do to achieve whatever is supposed to be achieved in that particular year. The women, through using these tools, they have started small clustered groups where they do savings and credit. In fact, we have one group where women have over 10 clusters of 20 women. They get money from their mother circle, and every market day they use that money. They bring back the profit the next day after the market day. On the other market day, they still get the money. So the women have really benefited a lot. And when you share with them, they tell you how they have bought animals, how they have changed their homesteads. So for me, how they have even learned other farming methods. In fact, most of the women, they also have some kitchen gardens. They give stories where they have been buying, like someone goes to the market to buy eggplants, someone goes to the market to buy tomatoes. So some of those small vegetables, they have learned how to do the kitchen gardens within their compounds. And also the savings, and also getting money to do the weekly, to run these weekly markets. And like for Charumba Banywana, as they were mentioning their story of coffee, on several occasions we have seen the women have their own gardens. There is that process, there's a product here where someone can pay for a garden even before the coffee is picked. So you find that most of the women are involved in that kind of business. They buy a garden, pick the coffee, and sell the coffee, and then make more profit. Thank you very much.
We have left out the issue of how you have used these tools, the gender, what is that thing called? The gender diamond? They're those ones that you've used to actually deal with domestic violence? Where...
The gender balance tree.
Yes.
This one, you are able to know what does a woman bring to the house? What does a man bring to the house? Who spends more in the house? Who spends less in the house? How much money is brought in the house? How much money is spent outside? In fact, from using this tool in some community, we realized that some of their money was spent outside. And after using that tool, I can show you that some families transformed because they really didn't know, they had not taken the initiative to analyze that they were spending most of their money outside. But through the use of the gender action tool, they were able to understand that. Then I've also used the empowerment map to analyze the leadership of some groups. You find like some groups there's that elite capture, some groups there are people who are dominant who do not want to change. So by use of the empowerment map, you're ready to know that if this person has been the chairperson, how has he helped this group? Has been the chairperson for 2-3 years. How has he helped this group? What have been the challenges? So by using that empowerment map, it has also helped to analyze and also sort out the differences within the leaders in their committees. Thank you.
Winnie, you also have husbands who have split their land and given different wives of theirs to to apply as members. Cindy, because the challenge about some of these initiatives is that they are based on land. So whoever owns the land would be the one you would contract. But you also have those issues where, those success stories where eventually the man has allowed even multiple of his wives to be able to come on board. Cindy?
Yeah, thank you very much for reminding me that. In this community, this region we are in, most families are polygamous, and you'd find that a male farmer has planted trees, and maybe this person has like 2-3 women. So you find that one woman who has some trees, so the women have also said, we are also going to plant trees. And because of using these tools, some women have now planted trees on their plots, and also planting trees from where they came from their homes. Here, they give children land. So if I got married to another place, I still have land where I come from. So they have also now used that opportunity of planting trees from where they come from. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chimera. Thank you, Winnie. Olivia, I think even the best dancer leaves the dance floor. It would have really been nice. I hope that people are putting completing using this information to finalize their business cases. We've given you our information. We gave you templates to use. Hopefully, we will get actual business cases, maybe a model, 1 or 2 models that are completely exactly like EcoTrust, but I'm sure even just Charumba Banywanyi could be an NGO. considering the number of membership they are reaching, the assets they have. So many of us NGOs run organizations and we don't even own the offices where we work. These are people that own land, they have an office, their circle is on their land, the clinic is on their land. I am completely blown away by the fact that even when they go beyond their clinic, their insurance still stands. The government of Uganda has been working towards coming up with universal health insurance that benefits communities. I think this is a case study that we can use to inform even government initiatives. So thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure sharing our experiences with you, and we are available. Some point in time, somebody sent me a message, said, this is too much learning to take in at a go. Maybe after we have had a break and learn from other experiences, we can still go back and just take one aspect. For example, the Charumba Banywanyi, we could have 3, 4, 5 sessions just based on Charumba Banywanyi. But even like Diana's session, we could break it up into so many other things. So we are available, but also at individual level, individual organization level. All those people that made presentations, Sheila, Diana, Lydia, Winnie, they all have Priscilla. They all have even what's his name, Jonah. They all have modules that they can actually train just in that one area. So back to you, Olivia. Thank you very much, Olivia Yemi. I don't know who it is, but back to you, Olivia. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pauline, for that, and the team for the great presentation that you guys have done throughout the series. I personally have learned a lot, and today's session has also been amazing just to be able to see what the community is doing. And the most interesting part is being able to also see the community present as we're doing this presentation. So I think I will because this is our last webinar for this series, I will hand over to Yemi to give us the closing remarks. But before that, I just wanted to inform you that I will be sharing all the materials that we've had throughout this webinar series so that you have some time to go through from the first webinar to the last one so that you can interact with the materials a little bit more. And the workbook that was also shared is also an important tool for you guys to continue working on that. And once we share the material, it might help you to get more insights on what you would want to develop as your business. So I will hand over to Yemi Katerere for the closing remarks. Over to you, Yemi.
Yeah, so what does one say? I think I'd like to pay tribute to this community. I think they brought the 3 webinars together from the beginning, the tools and methods. They brought it to life. They brought us to the ground. And an amazing example of a social movement, how communities have come together, inspired by a shared vision, and how they were able to find a partner in EcoTrust that shared the same vision. And I think that the testimonials today show what you can achieve when all these pieces, come together. So we want to appreciate and to thank the community for sharing with us so freely, so passionately. So moving forward, I think somebody said, it's too much learning. I kind of agree, but the learning is not going to end with these 3 webinars. I think that we should use these webinars as an opportunity to say, okay, how do we want to move forward? Where do I have questions? Where do I have a gap? Let's use the handbook as well. This has been shared with all the participants. And as you engage with the handbook, where do you have questions? Where do you have gaps in knowledge and so on? And then reach out so that we continue the journey of shared learning. And maybe, at some point, if you're in Uganda, go and visit this community and spend a day with them. So thank you to everybody. Thanks to EcoTrust and to the community, and all the best.
Thank you. Actually, you saw that picture of a plane from Mr. Chimera. It was an invitation for you to come and visit. He said you can fly all your planes and come and visit us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We are coming. We are coming.
Arnold and your team, thank you for providing the leadership, being behind the scenes. Maybe you could actually put a camera on yourself. I don't know. Because you are the person that has been behind all the logistics and the workbooks and the materials that we have used in this event. I just want to take this opportunity to recognize you. And oh, Mike, where is Arnold? There he is. That's the architect behind these webinars. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jonah, Sheila, Diana, Priscilla, Jonathan. Yeah, thank you very much. Until we meet. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.